Frontin' in the six with the chrome, yo B. Why you leave your honey all alone with me? Just because you're blessed with cash doesn't mean your honey won't let me finesse this. You see, the moral of the story is a woman need love. Your kind, your so-called players never dreamed of. You got to try love, can't buy love. If you play a hand, then it's bye-bye love. Who do you love? Are you for sure? Who do you love? Are you for sure? I do what I gotta do. Who do you love? All right, listen. You know, I can't give y'all too much. But listen, if you know who that is, the iconic artist, if you know who that is, smash that like button. And in the meantime, what's up, everybody? 32 Icon here. I hope that you guys are doing well. I'm doing well myself. Please go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. In good faith, I will continue bringing you great content. Oh, and I'm just another YouTube personality, so take what I say with a grain of salt and do your own research, okay? All right, so listen, a couple of things. First of all, I've been seeing a lot of you out at the range. I went to a plate shoot a couple of weeks ago, just kind of hanging out, having fun. Saw a couple of you guys who watched the channel. Listen, I appreciate the support. Thank you. I am pretty friendly in public, although I will say that some of you guys catch me off guard because you're like 32 and I still respond to live. So when people say 32, I'm like, what are you saying? I'm like, oh yeah, my YouTube channel. But you guys watch me all the time, and even though I say my name on the channel, I mean, my name is still my name, right? So I have to get used to people calling me 32 in public. But I appreciate you guys' support. I try not to be standoffish, but usually if I'm going into the range or I'm going to the store or what have you, like I'm focused, right? I'm focused. But if you, if you approach me in a civilized manner, right? Then then we could talk, we could chat it up. But thank you guys for watching. And if you are new to the channel, listen, I come on here. Lately, I've been singing in my pre-intros to the intros. I review firearms. I review, EDC gear. I just have fun, right? There's sometimes you'll see me shooting. Other times you'll see me talking because it's my channel and I want to talk. Simple as that, right? So that's what I do. I cut up over here. So this is my outlet to all of the things that I have to deal with in life. So when I come on here, I am just me. This is just what you see. All right. So listen, Apex sent a couple of triggers over. And so I want to say thank you to Apex for just really helping the channel out, providing support. And if you guys haven't already, which I honestly don't know why you haven't, if you have not gone on their website or put any of their triggers into your firearms, you might need to get checked by a doctor because Apex is legit. I don't really mean that, I'm just joking. But seriously, if you haven't been on their website and checked out all they have for the Glocks, the M&Ps, the FNs, I mean, you really are doing yourself a disservice. They are legit, all right? And if Apex makes something, then there's a reason for it, okay? So let's get into the things that they sent me. So they sent me 2 triggers. I think I have the package. If I do, I have a picture of it. I'll put it on the screen because when they send me stuff, I just quickly install it and get it moving. So sometimes I don't have the package right in front of me because they're already installed. So the first one, we'll start with the 17. They sent me their action enhancement kit for my Gen 3 17, and they also sent a trigger for my Gen 5 19. Okay, so let's get into the 17 first. So I'll try to show you some footage of the trigger prior to me putting the Apex trigger in it. And if you can see, it's blue. Although my firearm is gray, it's blue. And this firearm, all right, is safe. All right, so let's get into it. So first of all, the factory trigger is, or was, I should say, since it's no longer on here, it wasn't all that good, right? There was a roll and break. So when I will pull the trigger, there was no wall. So I shouldn't say roll and break, more like it was a rolling wall. Like I didn't have a distinctive wall to stop it like I do on the Apex, right? So I would roll through it. So I didn't like that. it was very gritty. The reset was really far. Like when I would pop the reset out, it would literally like flip my index finger out. So it didn't really give me control where I can do follow-up shots. Whereas the reset on this, see, is right there, and it doesn't pop my finger out where I can't control a follow-up shot. But anyway, needless to say, I did not like the factory trigger. But here you can see that, get a good angle for you guys. All right, here we go. So again, if I press this trigger and I don't press this part, it is absolutely not going to fire, okay? So I will have to press this, I come to the wall, and that's my break. I showed you guys the reset. All right, now, the other thing with this, I will say this, they gave me a trigger bar, a connector, and a safety plunger. The connector and the safety plunger was polished. The trigger bar was not. Now, I could have taken the time to polish it, but I didn't feel like it. I just put it in there. And I put maybe, I want to say maybe 60 rounds through this right after. So it doesn't have a lot of mileage on this particular trigger, but I'll tell you what, it is a smooth take up. It takes about a pound or so off of the factory trigger. Of course, the safety mechanisms are in place. It's crisp, it's audible. And let's see what the trigger pull is. All right, so here we go. You know, I'm gonna just do it like this, because, wait, should I do it like this? Yeah, I'll do it like this. All right, 2 pounds, 6 ounces. Try it one more time. 2 pounds, 9 ounces, or 9.3. Anyway, point is, it's around 2.5 pounds, a little over 2.5 pounds. This is more of a range toy. I think I did another video where I showed you guys I had a 17 that was like a battle green, black and gray mix, and I sold it. And I ended up getting this one. And if you're wondering, this has the low-key tactical front serrations and all that. This is the Vickers edition with the grip and the extended slide stop, green optic front sight, blacked out rear. Anyway, the bomb gun. So let me tell you, and I'm going to show you some footage. I don't know if it was the trigger. I don't know what it was, but I was killing the target. And I think I started at like 8 yards and I moved it back to 10 yards. But I was really getting it in with this firearm. And I honestly want to say it had a lot to do with the trigger. And I'm not just saying that because Apex sent it. I'm saying it because when I first got this gun, I shot it. And it was okay. Like, it wasn't like super duper accurate or anything, but it was enough for me to say, oh, okay, I like the 17. And then I put it back in my safe, as I do with many of my other firearms. And then when Apex sent it over, I said, and I asked them to send it over, by the way. When they sent it over, they was like, sure. I put it in there. I went to the range and I was like, oh man, so something must have changed. The only thing that has changed is either A, I've been shooting more, or B, the trigger has allowed me to get quicker follow-up shots, and that is smoother. I can feel the wall coming. It's crisp, it's audible, and so I'm able to accurately put rounds down target. So if you haven't tried this trigger, you ought to. All right, and again, this is the action enhancement, and I think this is about, I don't know, 130, maybe a little less, okay? But you could go on their website and check it out. All right, and let's just say you don't want something from Glock, you want something for your SIG P320 or something like that. You can check them out as well. All right, so now getting into the Gen 5. All right, and you're probably wondering why I still have the factory sights on here. It's because this is the MOS version, and I have an Holosun 407C that I'm going to mount on here. But honestly, I've just been lazy about buying suppressor sights. So that's why I still got the factory sights on here. But as I said in another video, the factory sights on this, listen, I was accurate with the factory sights. So I don't know what y'all talking about, but I know they do have to come off. They just have to come off. All right, so getting into this trigger. Now, when I shot this was about a 4.5 pound, probably 5 pound pull. I meant to tell you guys, this was a 5 pound pull prior to the Apex trigger. It rolls through the brake. There's no solid brake, okay? But I will say that the Gen 5 factory trigger was better than the Gen 3 trigger in the 17, if that makes sense. So the factory trigger was better than the previous generations, but it's still no Apex, okay? So again, we have the safety component, right? Can't press this trigger without pressing that right there. Crisp, audible, smooth, clean. All right, try it again. I want you guys to get a good, there we go. All right. So here comes the take up. Wait, can you guys see this? I'm struggling with this. Okay, here we go. So take up, wall, break. Now there is a little bit of, rolling, creep there. Let me show you what I mean. So wall. Now it's going to creep just a little bit before it breaks. This is what I mean. Here we go. See it there? And then it breaks. Now it could be the way that I performed my take up. Maybe I didn't go all the way to the wall. Let's try it again. But I noticed it before, even before making this video. Let's try it again. So take up. I feel like I'm at the wall, but for whatever reason, I think there's a little more creep. Here we go. And there is. You saw that creep? And then it breaks. Here's the reset. Ooh, very short, audible, and tactile. I'll show you that again. All right, so I don't know if you guys were able to see that, but I will say this. Even though it had just a little more creep after the wall, far better than the factory trigger. But in all honesty, these Apex triggers have nothing on the M&P. Like, honestly, this goes together like peanut butter and jelly. Okay? Here, wall. Ain't no creep after that wall. Look at that. Reset. Oh my gosh. Let me show you again. Listen. Wall. That's it. Wall. Break. Reset. The Apex trigger in this M&P, please. Please, that was just a blessing from God. But nonetheless, the trigger in this Glock is absolutely better than the factory trigger. Now, this just came with the connector and the trigger bar. Was the connector polished? The connector was polished. The trigger bar was not polished. Again, I could polish it if I want. I just chose not to. But it did not come with the safety plunger. Why it didn't, I'm not sure. I have no clue. But either way, both triggers were simple drop-in triggers. Okay, I ain't have to go through everything that I went through with the M&P. Actually, I did the M&P 9, which is the full size. Someone else put this one in for me, but I did my own on my M&P 9. And I also did it on the FN 509. This is the mid-size. And woo chale. Putting these triggers in was, child, you had to have the patience of Job. But, oh my gosh, did it pay off. Look at this. I'm right here. Boom. Listen. Apex. Apex, you knew what you was doing. But let's get some pull weight for the Gen 5. Okay. All right, we ready. Here we go. Let's see if I can do it this way. All right, 3.8 ounces. Let's see. And 3.12. I'm gonna try that one more time. Notice that so far we're around a little under 4 pounds, like 3.9-ish. But in the 17, we were over like 2.5 pounds. I wonder if it has anything to do with the safety plunger that was also inserted into the 17. I don't know. I didn't ask Apex, but just wonder. All right, here we go. One more time. 3.11. So I don't know. I mean, I feel comfortable taking this to the range. Some people leave it in for self-defense. I have been on the opposite side that now, you know, once I have a firearm that I want for self-defense, I try to not mess around with the factory trigger. And in fact, I wonder if there are any cases where the attorney tried to argue that, you know, someone put an aftermarket trigger in, and so this is why they shot that person, and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I just tend to leave the factory trigger in just because it's simple. I ain't got to do anything. This is just what it is. But, like I said, I really like the Apex triggers. It make the shooting experience more desirable. And again, if Apex is making a trigger to replace the factory trigger, it's for a reason. Either that trigger is too mushy, too much grit, too grimy, the reset is not prevalent. Something is wrong with that factory trigger where Apex is saying, hey, I can make this trigger an awesome trigger to shoot and a great experience for the shooter. So because of that, I'm all about Apex triggers. And again, I think this one goes for about $124 on their website, but you can find their triggers everywhere. But if you want to check out specifically what they have on their website, then you can visit their website, and they have great customer service. So you send them an email, they'll get right back to you. Okay. So again, Apex, thank you for sending this over. And last but not least, I can't, like, honestly, I can't say enough about this Apex trigger in my M&P. If you guys have an M&P, like, it is a must-have. You have to have this trigger. There is no other way. I'm sorry. I know this video is not on the M&P. I already did a video on this trigger, but I just have to bring it out when talking about Apex triggers because that was just a blessing from God. Like, they got it. Like, a lot of things in life are not perfect, but that trigger is perfect. All right. So listen, thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry this video is so long, but I haven't seen you guys in so long, and I wanted to just put these two together. So Apex, thank you for sending it over. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Check them out because in turn, you also support the channel. And outside of that, I hope you guys are doing well, treating one another with kindness, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks. Peace.